Hello everyone. I hope you are all doing great. I'm Yashwant Narikmalli. Welcome to another learning session. Today we are diving into the one of the important topics in database management system. Okay, get ready. Stay focused. We'll start our week. Okay. Today our topic is ER diagram and constraints. In this ER diagram, we'll discuss about entities, relationship, attributes, all these things. Okay, let's look into it. First thing, entity. What do you mean by entity? Basically, when we are discussing about the Java in the last semester, if I ask you about what is an object, everybody used to say object is a real world entity. Here, the entity is nothing but a real world object. We can say an entity is referred as an object or a real world object or the thing that exists in the real world. For example, a human, a customer, a car, a pen. We can easily say a bottle. This is also an entity. A charger brick is an entity. A mobile phone is an entity. Each entity contains its attributes. Like a human has its own characteristics. Mobile, it has own specifications. Like that, for example, student or employee. Take a student as an example for an entity. Student, he consists of a ID card in the college. ID card and his name and which department he belongs to, he or she belongs to, and what is a course. Like a course is a BCA, BBA, and department coming to this computer science, general BCom, general BCA. Whereas coming to the employee is also, we call it as an entity. Employee consists of a characteristics called ID, ID number, his employee name, and his salary, and his which department the employee is working. If you consider our college employees, which whether he is in teaching or non-teaching staff or support staff, software staff, like that, and department. If he is a teaching, which department he belongs to, whether he belongs to BCA or BBA or anything like this. Coming to the next, entity sets. What do you mean by entity sets? Entity is a real world object. For example, the students employs pen, book, earpods, charging brick, everything. Coming to the entity sets, entity set is a collection of similar type of entities that shares the same attributes. Let's say employee is an entity. In an organization, there is no only one employee. In an organization, we have multiple employees with the same characteristics, like name. Name is a characteristic, employee ID is a characteristic, salary is a characteristic, which department he belongs to is a characteristic. Like this, entity set is nothing but collection of similar types of entities with same attributes. For example, all the students of the school are the entities of the student entities. Now, the entity sets are classified into two types. One is a strong entity set. Two is a weak entity set. How can we call strong and weak entity sets? In a strong entity set, basically, in this strong entity sets exists independently, and each instance of the strong entity set has unique primary key, like employee ID. Or if you take like a strong entity sets are car, employee, model, name. Like how can we call it as a strong car is a strong entity which is having a primary key. Primary key is which is having a unique value. What kind of unique value a employee or a object car consists of? Car consists of a registration number. By using this registration number, we can find what type of car it is, what is the model, what is the brand, what is the everything, every specification of the car, we can find it from the car number, registration number. Coming to the employee, ID of an employee is a unique value. So it is a primary key. You'll see an example for the strong entity set, car, which is having a registration number. A name, registration number, we can consider it as a primary key because it is one of the unique attribute for the car. Coming to the weak entity. A weak entity cannot exist on its own. It is dependent on a strong entity. A weak entity does not have a single primary key that uniquely identifies it. What do you mean by single? Weak entity does not having any primary. See, we have an example here. Consider laptop is a weak entity. Who will use the laptop? The persons like us, like students, faculties, working professionals. If students, if the users are not there, like if the person who don't exist, is there is a need of laptop? If the persons are does not exist, like employees are not exist, students are not exist, the person, teachers are not exist, then who will use the laptop? No one, right? So laptop is a dependent on a primary attribute, primary entity like persons, like employees, students, working professionals, on. So laptop has attributes like name, color, RAM, ROM. Nothing about these attributes are the unique. Name might be a common name, Lenovo laptop, IdealPad 320. Or lock, LOQ. Color, it might be a black, green, multiple same colors of laptop will be repeats. RAM, ROM, internal memory, cache. Kinds of entity. There is basically two types of entities. One is a tangible entity, another one is an intangible entity. What is this tangible entity and intangible entity? We'll see. Tangible entity is a physical object or a physical thing that can be physically touched, seen, or measured. It is a physical existence or can be seen directly. We can have an example. Physical goods like inventory. Inventory management. Let's say in an online shop, we order some product that is a physical one. It is physically present in the inventory. Employee is a physical person. He is also present physically. Whereas coming to the intangible entity, intangible entities are abstract or the conceptual objects that are physically present but have meaning in the database. They are typically defined by the attributes of the properties that are directly visible. like how can we call it as a product categories. Let's say I have a product called charging brick or a mobile, or it might be a AirPods. All these are common. All these are products. If I want to categorize this, electronic goods, electronics. Electronics is an intangible entity. Like that. Next thing, entity types, strong entity, weak entity. We already discussed. Here, there is an example for the strong entity and the weak entity. Here, the customer is a strong entity. The rectangular box represents the entity symbol. The ovals are the symbol representation for attributes. Here, double-lined rectangular is a weak entity representation. The rhombus represents the strong relationship. The double-lined rhombus represents weak relationships. See, here the customer is a strong entity. Address is a weak entity. If the customer doesn't exist, address won't be there. If the customer entity is not there, address entity won't be there. Why? Because to store the customer address, we use the address entity. If the customer doesn't exist, what is the use of having the address entity? Next thing, attributes. So we will continue in the next session. Thank you for watching the video.